Right. So you can get ready to launch your product. You can start building, a waiting list. You can, start building interest, right? You put a lot of work into it. There's already some bars to entry. So you figure that out. So you probably don't have to be super scared, or if you are, start preparing so that you can do that. And then it's like, okay, cool. Well, how do I do that? I'm like, well, maybe YouTube channel, maybe your LinkedIn channel, start putting some posts up there, start seeing who's interested, start talking to neighbors and to people around you if you haven't already, and start getting this word out. But the way you say it's visibility is your responsibility, it just cuts to the soul of it. I like it.
Yeah, and one thing I would also like to add is that one of the mistakes so many founders are doing, and also coaches, I see this all the time, and I speak to so many of these people who make this mistake. They build it before they start checking if anybody's going to buy it. So I spoke to somebody not that long ago who said like, okay, so how much do your services cost? Because I think I'm nearly ready to go live. I've been building this course for 2 years,
Oh no.
right? For 2 years, right? And and
Haha. So that's not an MVP. Like, she had a whole like college program.
exactly, and that it hurts me when I speak to people who are doing that. So the way we launched EventRaptor.
You know how that's going to go.
Yeah, exactly. Because she doesn't know that anybody's actually going to buy the program in any shape or form because she's never mentioned the program to anybody. So here's what we did with EventRaptor. I so the whole purpose of EventRaptor is to make virtual event management very easy. So that's virtual summits. So we did 2 virtual summits. And when we saw the result from our own virtual summit, I said to myself, my group coaching clients who are now signed up through the virtual summit, they really need to have a virtual summit themselves because my group coaching program was all about getting more clients. And this is a fantastic way of getting more clients. And I knew that none of them could do it. So we said in the beginning of February of 22, right, we need to build a virtual event management platform so they can run virtual summits. And my wife was involved in that decision. Our son was involved in that decision. He was home because of COVID. He'd come back from working in Dubai because of the lockdowns and everything everywhere. So he was in on this as well. And we said, yes, let's do it. In March, we contracted a third-party company to start building our MVP, minimum viable product that we can go live with. And I started selling. Right? I literally, we had this company, US company, and we paid all of the development fees by the money we raised by selling the solution. So by the time we launched, right, we had the first person could officially log into the platform and create an account was in July of 2022. And we had done $140,000 in sales before the first could log in.
Okay. Share. This is genius, and this is something I try to have some of my founders do. If I get the feel that they're kind of like brave enough to go in that direction, right? So share this because this is a huge key to success and to get launched fast and to being sustainable.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we did was when we had the company who started working on it, they gave us a quote, and I went like, "We haven't got the money to do that." Well, we had some money, but we're gonna if we don't do any sales, we're going to run out of money before that product is ready. And we decided that there is no way that we can do this without selling. So we just started selling. The first thing I did was I reached out to a few people who I knew had a need for this system and they because they were running virtual summits on a regular basis, and I sold them a bigger package, an agency package, and I said, you're going to be one of the first ones to come on board. You're going to get the super deal, the best price I can ever give anybody. But it was still in the several $1,000s, right? And they came on board. And then after that, we started selling. We initial price points, we had like a lower tier option at $500 or $497, and the next one was at $997. And we just went out and promoted it. And we said, here is why you want to have this system. And here's what you're going to get. and you're never going to get have any subscription fees because you are coming in at this early stage, and you're going to get the best price ever. And we just kept selling. I turned up at events. We spoke all the time about it. And we just kept selling and selling and selling. And then when we officially launched it, we sold even more. So that was really, really successful for us. But if you can't get anybody to commit any money and having the sales pitch,
I was about to ask, like, Steve, what if you were pitching and you couldn't get any of those early founders? Like, what would have you done, or what would that have told you?
it would have told me that I haven't got a product. I don't have anything that I can actually release out there in the marketplace. I need to find something else.
And that's what it tells you. Yeah, if you give it a good try, you can't say if I talked to 2 or 3 people, right, and it didn't work. No, how many people do you think, like, you coach on this. How many people would you talk to before you're like, "Okay, yeah, this particular offer is not amazing enough to have a business on?"
It's not just about the number of people you talk to. It is, are you talking to the people who would be your client? A lot of people going out there asking friends, family, people they meet, like, what do you think of my offer? And that's the key mistake they're doing. What do you think of my offer? They explain the offer. And then you have the challenge is that the person they're speaking to don't want to offend them, right? They don't want to disappoint them. They don't want to hurt them. So they're going like, yeah,
Or may not even understand the problem in the first place.
yeah, absolutely. So they're saying, "That sounds like a great offer. I'm sure you're gonna sell lots of those." And then people walk away like, "Oh, really good feedback." Okay? It counts for nothing, right? When you have to, so this is like the coaching moment. You have to start with, what is the outcome you are doing for creating for people? What is the transformation that you are providing for people? Then you have to understand who wants that transformation, not just need it, but who want that transformation. Right? Then you got to go to them, to those people, and you're going to say, "Here is my offer. Are you in?" Right? And if they say, "Yes, I'm in," then you got something.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and even if you say to them, "Are you in?" and they're going, "Yes, send me the checkout link and I'm going to pay." And you go, "Actually, I don't have the checkout link yet. I'm 6 months away from doing that, but thank you for letting me know. Can I come back to you in 6 months?" At least you know somebody was prepared to go and pay. Not everybody who say they'll pay will do, but at least you had somebody who said they're prepared to pay. And then you need to look at, have you got access to that audience? Because that's again something that we see with virtual summits is that people are letting other speakers come in who don't have the right audience. So, for instance, to give an example, we have the Solopreneur Accelerator Summit, which is all about how do you take a step forward in your business. Golden nuggets that with strategies and tactics that you can use to get more clients. And we had somebody apply who said, "Oh, I talk about gut health." Right? And because gut health is important.
Yeah, at what summit is you gonna talk about gut health, please?
Yeah, yeah. So the health summits you go and talk about that, but in a business acceleration kind of summit, you don't talk about gut health because they said, "Oh no, gut health is very important because without the proper gut health, you are not going to be able to do your business." But the question is, would it accelerate my business if I knew more about gut health? And the answer is no. But here's the challenge: a lot of people will say yes because they just want to fill the roster of speakers. And then after the summit, they go like, nobody bought. Well, that's because you got people into your summit, into your mailing list that you were making your business offer to, who interested in better gut health. They're not interested in more business. So that's the key thing. You need to know that you have access to the market that actually going to buy your product, and those are the people who are going to tell you whether your offer will sell. And I know you have the $100 million leads book from Alex Omosi back on your shelf, so you know the irresistible offer that Alex Omosi is talking about, and that's really what you have to construct. You have to construct an offer where people are going like, I'm in. Where do I sign? Where do I send my money? Because if they don't do that, you don't have an offer. You don't have a business until people do that.
Exactly, exactly. Um, so it comes down to a few things, and you nailed on a few things, a lot of things. And when I'm looking at your website, your product. And I'm looking through the blogs and some of the videos you have. It's you've been able to resist the temptation of adding too many features. So I've noticed that you really have this exact focus and you keep going on that direction. Has it been hard to do that?
It has hard, and at the same time, it's been easy in two ways. The temptation, and again, this is something we see with our coaching clients a lot. The temptation is to try to be everything to the whole world because you're not getting enough money in right now. You haven't got enough people who are interested in your specific offer, and therefore the temptation is to go wide, and that is the death of a business, going wide. You have to go deep, you have to become the specialist in what you're doing. So when you say like avoid having too many features, what we do have, in our EventRaptor software, we have a tremendous amount of features that are all focused on one thing: making your virtual event management easy. So for instance, we didn't have speaker communication within there. We sent out emails to the speakers separately, and then we had to customize each email to every speaker. Now we have it in the platform, right? Because in the platform, we can use templates with placeholders, and it sends out the correct information to every speaker. And it takes like 2 minutes to send out this email that has all of that correct information in it. So we're really focusing on the depth of what we're doing. And our focus the whole time is we're helping our clients get more clients. That's what we do. And our mechanism for doing that is using virtual summits, right? So all the way through in everything we do, that's our focus. We have something called the Client Attraction Success Hub, a membership site, a membership club, where we have people coming in and talking about how do you get more clients, how do you get more leads, how do you convert those leads. We do summits ourselves, the Solopreneur Accelerator Summit, the Own Your Stage Summit, where we talk about how do you get more clients in your business, how do you get more clients when you're speaking on stages. We run virtual summits for people. We have done for you programs where we're focusing on how do you use virtual summits to get more clients. So in everything we are doing, if something comes up and we're saying, hey, is this a good idea? If it doesn't fit into does it help our clients get more clients? Then the answer is we're not doing it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, Steve, how if somebody says, I've done a virtual summit with you, it was great, and I've gotten some invitations to go to some stage speaking events, and I want to do not a virtual, but a combined real with virtual back end summits. Like, do you get that kind of question? Or and if you did, like, would you yeah, I can imagine I cannot imagine you wouldn't. So is that part of your like your coaching, or is that something you kind of just say, that's not me, or how do you handle that?
Yeah, so we what we do say is that the virtual portion we can handle. If it's in person, go to somebody in your local area or contract with somebody who's going to come in, because the live event portion is a completely different kettle of fish. You have to have an AV team who's going to be sending feeds out virtually and everything. They're going to control the lighting and the microphones, and you need to have a on-stage confidence monitor. They're going to tell you where you're at in your thing. You're going to arrange for seating, for a room, for a hotel, or something. There's so many things that go into it, and we don't do it. It's as simple as that. We don't do it. Go and speak to somebody. The virtual portion of it, and when you have a feed and that feed goes out on the internet, yeah, we'll help with that. But that's it. We do have partners that we can refer to. So, for instance, we have a partner who is very good at handling in-person 3-day events, what we call enrollment events. And she does 20, 30, 40 of these every year, literally. So she's an expert. Yeah,
Well, that's a lot. It's like every weekend.
like pretty much every weekend, and sometimes during the week as well. So if you need help with that, we'll put you in touch, and she can help you with all of that. And she will even have sales staff who will turn up at your event and be there at the back of the room with the paperwork and coach people into buying the offer. We don't do that. Yeah.
No, that you know what, that's great, and probably something that made that a little bit easier is probably I bet that this person you're referring is a close friend, and you can have trust in them, and it makes it easier to say, yeah, I don't have to be this person for everybody. having these other relationships and friendships in the industry.
Yes, absolutely. And we have a number of partners in different areas where we can help. So, for instance, if you want to set up a podcast, hey, we can tell you a little bit about it. But if you really want to set up a podcast and make it successful, we have two different people we can refer to, depending on what you want to do with your podcast.
That's a lot of fun. What's the difference between like an event, a podcast, or like a one-on-one coach or like a psychologist trying to have like a meeting with, like marriage counseling versus have an event that's designed to be in front of, 100 or 2,000 or 100,000 people?
Well, the when it comes to the 1,000 or the 100 or the 100,000 people, that's a significant scale difference. There's a whole lot of technologies that will need to be employed in order to handle the traffic for that, and the virtual feed and everything. So if anybody has that kind of requirement, like, let me know and we'll dig into what that is. But that's a very high cost. But the key thing really is about virtual events, that you have to understand what your outcome is from a virtual event. And if the virtual event is there to
Mhm.
convert into sales, then it really is what type of a virtual event will help you the most.